You did what was right.
Greetings. What do you need?
Can I be of service to you, Sir Divish? I've heard talk that something is going on in Pribyslavitz.
Henry, you've come at just the right moment. I sent a man to Pribyslavitz. My locator, Marius.
What's a locator?
A land allocator. I charged him with checking on the condition of the settlement to see if we can start rebuilding it.
You're planning to resettle the village?
Yes.
Why Pribyslavitz, of all places?
Because it's been lying fallow and falling into ruin since it was sacked by Havelmetic years ago. It's about time that changed.
Well, it should be safe there now. We trounced that rabble on the battlefield.
Yes, and that's why I sent my master locator there. However, he should have been back long since.
If you've no objection, I could go and look for him.
I'd appreciate that. He probably just got delayed. But I'd be happier if you checked it out. Goodbye.
So, it's all clear to me now.
What is? Who are you? You've no business here.
I'm Henry, and I was expecting to find you here.
What? How could you?
Sir Divish's locator went missing around these parts.
What? Well, it seems like he's all out of luck, don't it? Divish ought to have sent someone better than you to parley.
He didn't send me to parley, he sent me to deal with it.
Deal with it? There's plenty of us and you're on your own. So I think twice about how you're going to deal with that.
Let him go, right now. Or you can stay here and feed the crows, like the rabble who were here before you.
All right. No need to be hasty, eh? We'll be on our way then, quietly. That fella's in the tent over there.
Sir Divish sent me to find you, and it looks like I arrived just in time.
God's truth.
I'm Henry of Skalitz.
My name is Marius Bielek, Master Locator. Sir Divish sent me here to survey the area.
Well, the outlaws are out of the way, so we can go and report to him, right?
Not just yet. Those bastards caught me as soon as I arrived, and so far all I've seen is the inside of the tent they tied me up in. I still have a job to do. Come along with me, if you like. We'll report to Sir Divish afterwards.
Wandering around ruins isn't my idea of fun.
It's not meant to be fun. I have a serious job to do here. But suit yourself. Don't go too far. I'll look things over, see what's what, and make notes. At least I'll get it done faster and won't be distracted.
What? By me?
I'll have to measure it out. That's essential. All right, Henry, run along. I'll catch up with you later. Check the water sources. Subsoil.
So, Master Locator, ready to start building?
There's a long way to go before that. The few ruins that are left are basically beyond repair. It's all overgrown with brush.
Oh dear.
We'll have to get it all cleared before we can start rebuilding it.
So it is possible to rebuild everything?
Yes, absolutely.
But building a whole village is no small enterprise.
We'll need timber, lots of it, which isn't a problem in the middle of the woods, of course. We'll have to hire wage labor to begin with. Quite a lot of men. I think we should get started without delay. There's a lot of work involved, but it'll be well worth the effort. I can just imagine it. The church will dominate the whole settlement.
Oh, that's good news. When will you inform Sir Divish?
Why wait? I'll head to Talmberg right away. But would you keep an eye on things here in the meantime? It would be rather embarrassing to run into more bandits when I return with Sir Divish.
No problem. I'll be right here.
It shouldn't take us long. My lord, welcome to Pribyslavitz. That is to say, welcome back to Pribyslavitz after all these years. Well, what's left of it.
Not to worry, Marius. I'm glad to be back in my old hamlet. Although, it seems to have aged about as gracefully as I have over the years.
I beg to differ, sir. It's quite dilapidated, unlike your good self, but at least it's safe now. Thanks in part to Henry here, who also saved me from a predicament that cost me valuable time. Who knows? If it hadn't been for him, we might not even be talking now.
Well, lad, in the end, you managed things in your own way, I see. Just as you said you would.
I did my best, sir. They didn't look all that tough, so I put a bit of pressure on them and they took to their heels.
You were outnumbered and you scared them off?
Ah, they were greenhorns. I think they may have been a bit intimidated by me.
Let's hope they don't try anything like that again.
I'm quite sure they won't, sir.
Let's get down to the matter in hand, shall we? What state is Pribyslavitz in?
Sir, in my official capacity as locator, I am gratified to inform you that the hamlet of Pribyslavitz may be renewed. And indeed it offers prospects of considerable expansion beyond its former limits.
Splendid! Finally, some good news for this province.
And badly needed, too.
So, what have you discovered so far? I want to know all the details.
We had a scout around.
We conducted a basic survey, from which we can make a preliminary outline of the parcels. I already have in my head an initial plan of what can be built where.
We should certainly have a church. I'd like to preserve the existing one.
That should present no serious obstacles. The building is in much better condition than we anticipated. But extensive reconstruction will be required.
That's to be expected.
There's a stream here, and a well, right in the middle of the village.
Yes, and there are abundant woods around. Clearing them will provide both extra land and timber supplies that we can use right away.
Right now, I believe we're standing on the village green, aren't we?
The future green, that is. The village centre will comprise at least 6 large buildings to begin with. We can't fit any more than that here, so there will be other buildings away from the square, in particular more extensive structures.
I'm glad to hear it. I never expected you'd find so much space here in the middle of the woods. The building work we're about to engage in is only the first part of my plan. Later, we'll clear more forests for agricultural land, and build more farmhouses. But, for now, we'll have to focus on more sensible goals.
As you wish, my lord.
Rebuilding a whole village must cost a king's ransom, though.
It's true it won't come cheap. Before the tradesmen settle here and start producing and trading, it will be necessary to invest a certain amount of capital.
A certain amount? How much exactly?
I wouldn't venture to state a precise amount at this point, but I expect it will come to some thousands, even tens of thousands of groschen.
That much? I hope you're good at haggling.
We shall, of course, attempt to procure everything at the best possible price, but raising a settlement from the ashes you see around you is a costly business. Nevertheless, I can assure you, my lord, that if all goes well, the investment shall all come back to you with interest.
I hope I shall live to enjoy it, Master Marius.
A village isn't a village without villagers. You'll need new subjects. Even preparing the ground for building will need lots of labour. Where can we find so many people, sir?
You sound skeptical, lad, but it's a good question. I've already given it some thought. I've agreed with Radzik and Hanish that we shall make an announcement in Rattay to invite people to move here and help with the construction, which will bring them many benefits, but also obligations. In addition, I expect the prospects of a new home will appeal to your former Skalitz neighbors, more than a makeshift camp by the castle walls.
They'll be delighted, sir.
A splendid solution, sir. I've also been concerned about how to bring settlers here. But now it seems there will be no shortage of new inhabitants after all.
It seems things are finally looking up. We routed the bandits in battle, and Henry took care of the remnants. When can we get to work?
Right away, as far as I'm concerned. All we need is people and the necessary funds. And we'll need someone to keep order, at least in the interim.
True. I'll leave you some of my men.
If I may, I would recommend quickly appointing a bailiff to take responsibility for the renewal of the village, its coffers and its citizens.
True. First things first. Since you understand these matters best, you shall take charge of the land parceling and building works. You'll be available to the bailiff, but answerable directly to me.
I'd be honored, sir. Thank you.
And, as regards the office of bailiff, what about you, Henry?
Yes, sir?
You've proven yourself well. You've demonstrated that you're capable of solving problems, and you command the respect of your former Skalitz neighbors.
Well, I'm not so sure.
And you're also capable of maintaining law and order.
I must concur.
So, let us expedite matters. Henry, I hereby appoint you to the office of bailiff of the hamlet of Pribıslавице in my domain.
My lord, it's a great honor. Thank you.
You will oversee the initial renewal and administration of the village that will set the ground for further development. But don't imagine it'll be a bed of roses, lad. Being bailiff doesn't mean you can do whatever you like. If you don't treat the settlers rightly, I'll soon find out and relieve you of your office. Besides, we can't spare a single groschen from the Talmberg coffers now, with the province in chaos. So, you'll have to cover the cost for the building work from your own purse.
Me? But Marius said it would cost a fortune.
True, but from what I hear, you know how to get your hands on coin enough. So, I expect you'll manage it just fine.
I'd like to know who's been spreading such gossip.
And I am assigning you certain specific tasks. You must ensure the rebuilding of the church. That means complete reconstruction, wall paintings, and a new altar. See to it that in the future the village will be capable of supporting a certain number of people. For that, you will need to ensure the construction of essential artisans' buildings. And ultimately, the village must produce sufficient earnings to fund further expansion.
But, sir, I've never done...
I understand your concerns, but you'll be handsomely rewarded. I shall grant you the proceeds from the whole village for the first 5 years, and you have my permission to use the surrounding woods and land as you see fit.
Well, that's, I mean... Are you sure I'm the right man for the job, sir? It's a lot of responsibility.
As you said yourself, Henry, it's a great honor. Besides, you won't be alone in it. I'll assist you and supervise the construction work.
Phew. All right, then.
So, we're agreed. You'll give this document to the Rete bailiff. He'll make the announcement to invite settlers, which should ensure enough people to begin work. At the same time, your official appointment as bailiff will be announced.
I don't know what to say, sir.
I'm sure you won't disappoint me, Henry. And now I must get back to my duties at Talmberg. Send word when everything is prepared.
Certainly, sir. Have a safe journey.
Farewell, sir. I have a document for you from Sir Divish. It concerns the renewal of Pribıslавице.
The village you drove those bandits out of?
The very same.
So it's true, then? Good. Good. Let me see that document, then.
Here it is.
So what have we here? It says I should announce that anyone interested may move to Pribıslавице to live and work. And Sir Radzig and Sir Hanush also give their consent. In that case, let's not waste any time. Come along with me. God be with you. How are you, Henry?
Family with fresh bread. God save Henry.
Hear ye, hear ye. It is hereby announced, in the name of Sir Hanush and Sir Divish, that you, the citizens of Ratai, as well as those who have found temporary refuge here, are permitted to move to the hamlet of Pribyslavitz, to the north of Talmberg Castle, wherein you shall be vouchsafed a new life and new dwellings, providing that you shall contribute to the renewal of the hamlet. All those who choose to accept this offer shall be exempted from payment of taxes for a period of 5 years. They shall be permitted also to make use of timber from the surrounding woods and water from the streams. The hamlet of Pribyslavitz lies in the domain of Sir Divish of Talmberg, and all who settle there shall be duty-bound to him. It is furthermore hereby announced that Henry of Skalitz is appointed to the administration of Pribyslavitz and the office of bailiff therein, which office and privilege have been conferred upon him by Sir Divish for loyalty and services rendered. I would therefore recommend that our Skalitz friends consider this offer very seriously, as nothing better is likely to come your way anytime soon.
Back. What news from Ratai?
Well, the bailiff read Sir Divish's decree, and now I'm officially bailiff of Pribyslavitz.
Then allow me to congratulate you. What will be your first step?
First, actually, I'm not quite sure. What would you recommend?
As it happens, I already saw to a few things in your absence. You might have noticed that the first people have come from Ratai.
Yeah, I saw some heading here right away.
So when they arrived, I was able to start clearing building plots with them. After they'd erected some temporary dwellings, that is.
So we're ready to get things started?
As long as you know what you want to build, I can show these new people what to do. We'll be building on the sites we've measured out. You can go and look them over first, if you like.
I'll do that. I'll see what's going to be built where.
Nevertheless, I doubt you'll be able to figure that out just from looking at the sites.
How do I choose what to build where?
I've already given it some thought on your behalf. I even wrote it all down in the accounts ledger. Everything will be recorded there. I'll make a note of every change as we proceed.
Thanks. That'll be a big help. And where can I find this book?
It will always be kept at the rat house.
Well, there's nothing here, so we'll have to build everything. Ale house, bakery, butchers, rat house. Did I mention ale house?
Eventually. But be warned. To begin with, it's always best to start with facilities that will be producing construction materials for everything else. And since we'll mainly be using timber, it makes sense to set up a woodcutter's camp.
All right. And then what?
That depends. Every building has its use. You'll soon get the grasp of it. And it's all in the ledger.
What about the workers' wages and buying materials for artisans?
The money must be put in the trunk here. The expenditures for wages and materials will be taken from it. So you should keep it topped up to prevent delays. It reminds me, there's the matter of my own pay to be resolved.
Ah, Yes, of course.
Sir Divish guaranteed me a fixed income. What's more, this job is an exceptionally big one.
I see. How much are you thinking?
I have a record of payment here somewhere. Here it is. Let's say 1/4 more than that.
I can't afford that much. At least not now, right at the start. But I do need your help. How about this much?
That's a fair offer. It seems we understand each other. I agree.
Good. I'll put your wages in the trunk too. Are you sure it's quite safe?
Quite. Only you and I shall have a key and access to the trunk. Besides, we'll have guards on watch here.
Ah, that's reassuring.
That's about all to begin with. If you need any more details, I'll be happy to explain things to you.
Could you explain something to me? What are my duties as bailiff?
As bailiff, you must see to it that the village grows and prospers. You'll have to resolve disputes between citizens and decide what I should have built. The coin for it will come from your own purse. Basically, you'll have to keep the whole locality under control, but you can't just do whatever you like. You're still answerable to Sir Divish, as am I.
Which means...
Which means that if the folk here are unhappy, word will soon get to Sir Divish, and he'll put you in your place. So you'd better see to it that there's no thieving, and folk have jobs to do, and their wages are paid.
Of course. I'll keep a close eye on things. How do I build houses?
First, find out how much it'll cost, and whether the upkeep won't ruin you. Everything is written in the ledger. You can check it all there, or just come and see me.
Sure. How do the accounts work?
The most important thing is to know how much profit your buildings generate, and what they cost to operate. That's written on the very first page of the ledger, which will be kept at the rat house. Whenever we erect a new building, I record it there, and you'll find all the profit generated by the village in the trunk next to the ledger.
And what if we spend more than we earn?
Then you'll have to put the amount necessary for covering the operating costs into the trunk.
I see. Probably best to have a little extra there for a rainy day then. How do operating costs work?
Those are the workers' wages, costs of material and equipment for tradesmen, and so on.
And what if I don't have enough coin?
Then production will grind to a halt. Watch out for that. Folks soon get grouchy if they're not getting paid. The amount needed each day is recorded in the accounts ledger too. So you should keep enough in the trunk to cover the wages.
And how do I pay the workers?
Don't concern yourself about that. I'll take care of it. As long as you provide the coin.
So I could put enough money there for, say, 3 days in advance?
Indeed. Simple enough, isn't it?
All right. Thanks. How can I get new people to come to the village?
Don't worry about that. Folk will gradually turn up of their own accord when there are houses for them. Each building can house a certain number of people. The bigger the house, the more inhabitants. And the more space you have for them, the more country folk will come here in search of a better livelihood.
What about tradesmen?
I can find you fairly competent ones, but if you can get really skilled artisans, it will certainly be a boon for the village income. Although it's not all that easy to get skilled people. You could ask around.
I see. Any suggestions?
You could try asking the 2 Sasau armourers for a start. They're always at each other's throats, so maybe one of them could work here. But don't forget to get a forge and armoury workshop set up for him. Otherwise you'll only be wasting his time.
Right. I'll go and have a word with them later. I must give some thought to who else would come in handy here. Thanks. How can I improve the buildings?
The process is exactly the same as for building from the ground up. We need to have enough coin, materials, and of course, something to improve. It goes without saying that there's no point in better blacksmith's equipment if you've no forge to put it in.
Well, I can't argue with that. But why bother with improvements at all?
Because they make it possible to produce better goods that can be sold at a higher price, so we'll earn more money.
Nothing, actually. I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
We'll need woodcutters to ensure timber supplies for building.
Good. We've got everything. Come along with me to the site where we'll be building.
We're going to build here?
Right here. Ready to start?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've got what we need. Let's get to work.
I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
With all the woods around, we ought to keep bees here. There's always a demand for honey.
Let's go to the site. I'll see to the building.
We're going to build here?
Right here. Ready to start?
I'm ready.
I'll just quickly check again that we have everything we need. We've still got the means. We'll get stuck in then.
I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
I'd like to build the rat house.
Very well. Come along with me. Once we're there, I'll oversee the building, so they don't botch anything.
I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
That rickety old footbridge won't do. We need a proper bridge and a firm road.
Let's go to the site. I'll see to the building.
I want to build something.
Certainly, Master Bailiff. What's it to be?
Let's start repairing the church.
Good. We've got everything. Come along with me to the site where we'll be building.
We're going to build here?
Indeed. Can we begin?
I'm ready. Trade is important, and we'll have a wagon bringing goods in, so we'll build a trader store.
Good. There's another unpleasant matter for you to handle.
Nothing too terrible, I hope.
That's for you to decide, Master Bailiff. As you know, the woods and everything in them belong to our liege lord. He gave you the right to make use of them. But as far as I know, no one else is allowed to hunt there.
Let me guess. Some of our fold are putting game on their tables from our woods, and I have to deal with them.
Just so. A case like this ought to be judged by his lordship himself, but I fear Sir Divish might be a little too strict in this matter.
So what are my options?
You can hand the poachers over to justice, let them off with a warning, or, of course, one can always turn a blind eye and leave it in the hands of God. What's your decision?
We'll confiscate the poached game and put the fear of God into the culprit so they don't do it again. No point in carrying it any higher. We should keep our own affairs in order.
A wise decision, Henry. I'll see to it.
How are you?
I'd like to buy some grain.
Grain? What do you want grain for?
I'm responsible for the rebuilding of Pribyslavitz.
I heard some talk about that. I suppose I can sell you part of the crop. How many bushels do you want?
I'll need fodder for horses, at least 10 strong animals, and wheat for the baker. He'll have to bake for the whole village.
That's quite a lot. It won't be cheap.
But even though it's for Sir Divish's village.
Aye. Unless he sets the allocations himself, I have to make up for any differences in supplies. And you'll have to pay for that. Have you got someone to transport it? Or are you gonna haul it there yourself?
I've got a merchant to take care of it.
Fair enough. Here's my offer.
Here you are. And good health. I've only got 2 hands. Certainly. I'll fetch it right away.
All right.
How are you?
I'm here at the behest of Sir Divish. I'm looking for the overseer of this quarry. Would that be you, Goodman?
Aye, that's me. What can I do for you?
Sir Divish has decided to rebuild Pribyslavitz, and he's entrusted me to take charge, along with his locator.
Aha, so it's you. I heard about Sir Divish's plans. What is it you need, then?
Well, we've started with the reconstruction work, but we need more than just timber.
You need stone for the construction?
Exactly. And for repairing the church.
Well now, you're really not doing things by halves, are you? The thing is, though, we're already working flat out supplying stone for the monastery construction in Sasau. I can't cut back on their supplies. Sir Divish wouldn't be at all pleased.
But I really need that stone.
Well, I suppose I could try and hire a few more quarrymen to increase production. But we can't transport it. Even Sasau sends their own wagon here. Have you got someone to carry the stone?
I've got my own merchant. He'll take care of it with his hired hands.
Splendid. So let's talk about the price.
The stone is for Sir Divish. It's for a village he wants to rebuild as quickly as possible. I doubt he'd take it well that the overseer of his own quarry is overcharging him for it.
Well, you have a point. I'll take that into account in the price.
That's better.
Excellent. We'll start sending the stone as soon as your merchant gets here. Good luck.
How are you?
I'd like to buy charcoal from you.
Of course, Henry, anything for you.
It might be more than you think.
How much charcoal could you possibly need?
5 bags. On a regular basis.
Haven't you noticed winter is over?
There's a new forge in Pribyslavitz, and I need to supply it with charcoal, seeing as how I'm the bailiff.
Bailiff, eh? Well, I never. Congratulations.
It's not a bed of roses, but thanks.
All right, but we can't let you have that amount for nothing, even if you did help us with ginger.
Don't worry, I wouldn't expect that.
How are you going to haul the charcoal?
I've got a merchant of my own. He'll come here regularly with a wagon to pick it up. You just have to load it for him.
As you wish. About the price...
Deal.
All right, we'll send the first load as soon as your wagon gets here. See you...
Greetings.
I'd like to buy livestock for Pribyslavitz.
How much do you need?
Well, it needs to be enough to keep everyone in Pribyslavitz fed.
What? I'll give nothing to that lot.
Why ever not?
I won't sell nothing to that Skalitz rabble.
Why's that?
Because before they moved there, they were stinking at the place right in front of my shop. They were begging for alms. And like a fool, I gave it to them.
What's wrong with that? It's the Christian thing to do.
Only they wouldn't go away. They passed the word on. There were good pickings to be had. Then they all turned up one by one, bothering my customers. They ruined my trade. And they stole from me, the thieving rabble. And they were too wily for the cat's paw to catch them at it. But I know it was them what did it. They'll get nothing from me.
What, you'd miss out on a trade like that? Supplying livestock for the whole village, exclusive rights just for you. That ought to make up for past wrongs.
Well, all right. The main thing is I got them out of my hair. But I'll set the price. Who'll take them there for you?
I've got a merchant to handle it.
All right. Here's my offer. Take it or leave it.
Deal. I'd like to extend my rat house.
Let's go to the site. I'll see to the building.
We'll need plenty of tools, and they'll need repairing too. So we have to have a blacksmith. Now, people have to eat, and bread is a must. So let's build a bakery. Let's finish fixing up the church. No, we don't have a tavern here yet. People need to wash the dust down after a hard day's work. We need guards to protect the village and keep the peace, and we need to build them a guardhouse. I was thinking it would be good to have a herb garden, to grow medicinal herbs. Let's build an archery range for the garrison. It's not only good for training, but also for passing the time and keeping them out of the tavern. My pa, God rest him, was a skilled blacksmith. He could forge swords as good as any, and earned a good living. I'm sure a swordsmith would have a good livelihood here. Could add a fruit drying hut for the baker, so he can bake even better pastries and even fruit pies in the winter. The tavern could have its own brewery. Then we'll have fresher ale and fatter profits. Folk like a game of dice, and so do I. We should have a dice table and invite some players. Maybe I can even win back some of what I'm paying out in wages. I could use an alchemy lab at the rat house.
Hey, young fellow, you can't sleep here. Go and find a bed of your own. Ow. What do you think this is, an inn? Get the hell out of here.
I want to build something. But we mustn't waste any time.
We can't build in the dark. You can't hammer a nail if you can't even see past your nose. I applaud your fervour, but you'd be better off getting a good night's sleep and starting fresh in the morning.
I suppose so. I'll come tomorrow then. It's time the church had a new altar. It's not the house of God without one. We should have the church painted. It ought to be grand, with exquisite ornament. So, how am I doing with the village?
Let's see. How do you think you're doing? We've already finished everything successfully. Excellent work, Henry.
I'm glad you're pleased. Sir Divish, I finished the assignment you gave me. Pribyslavitz is up and running once more, and making money. And the church is as good as new.
Indeed? That's excellent news. I can't wait to see it for myself.
Of course, we can go right away.
Goodbye.
Welcome to Pribyslavitz.
Well now, I've heard some reports, but to see it with my own 2 eyes, beautiful.
Me and Marius did our best.
As you saw on the way here, the village is prospering, trade is booming, and the villagers are doing well.
I saw the new buildings as we were riding in. You've both done a magnificent job. I owe you my gratitude and commendation.
Thank you, sir.
How did you manage it so quickly?
We had to clear the woods and the ruins of the former buildings,
I arranged supplies of building materials and victuals from traders nearby.
thanks to which we were able to build what you see here today.
And the church here has become the dominant feature of the whole village.
I'm especially proud of our church.
Indeed, you have plenty to be proud of. Thank you both. I can say wholeheartedly that you have not disappointed me. On the contrary, you have exceeded my expectations.
It's been an honor.
I quite concur.
Master Marius, I'd like you to stay on in the village. As soon as things have settled in the province, we can begin with the expansion as planned.
As you wish, my lord.
As for you, Henry, as I promised, you shall continue to have the income from the village, as well as the bailiff's office.
Thank you, my lord.
I thank you, Henry. Few could manage what the 2 of you have achieved here.
There's the good doggy. That's my boy.
You did what was right.